Doing it right now.
Okay, sorry.
You're good. You're on. I see it now.
Okay,
Are
go
you-
ahead, do your thing.
All right.
We're all set. We lost Candace. Oh, well.
No,
I'm here.
she's there. She just turned her camera off.
You turn
Got
off.
it. Okay,
Oh,
Good.
I'm here.
there you are.
All right, you want to all start?
Yeah.
Start up. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a regularly scheduled meeting of the Zoning Commission of the City of Danbury. We are recording live on YouTube, and this is via Zoom, April 27, 2021 at 7:30. Let the record show we'll begin with a roll call at 7:33. Commissioner Almeida.
Here.
Commissioner Fay.
Here.
Commissioner Hawley. I do not see. I'll mark him as absent. Commissioner Hylinski.
Present.
Commissioner Jowdy.
Here.
Mr. Kelly is absent. He called. It's his birthday. Are watching live instead of having cake or watch this on tape. We all wish you a happy birthday. Many more in good health. Mr. Mazzi. I'll put him down as absent. Mr. Melillo.
Here.
Mr. Eriquez.
Present.
Mr. Marchand. I do not see. We'll mark him as absent. Mr. Nejame. I do not see. We'll mark him as absent. I'm Commissioner Haddad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 7. I'm going to put Mr. Eriquez in for Mr. Kelly this evening. The next regular meeting is scheduled for May 11th, 2021. We have a big meeting that night. So if we can get everyone here, there, and those who aren't here, we'll put a bug in their ear so they can be here, there. Can we all join Mr. Melillo in the Pledge of Allegiance? Mr. Melillo, unmute.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
My button disappeared. I had to do it from the menu top. Sorry.
Hey.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America,
to the
To
republic
the republic which stands, one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
with
with liberty and justice for
for
all.
Thank you. On for this evening are the acceptance of the minutes, April 13th, 2021. Everyone received it. Hopefully everybody reviewed it. Is there a motion to accept the minutes of April 13th meeting? Motion made,
Move to accept the minutes.
made by Ms. Fay. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Almeida. Any discussion, comments, deletions, modifications, additions? Not hearing any. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 I did not hear any opposition. The minutes are accepted. This evening, we do not have a public hearing, and we also do not have any continuation of any public hearings. Under old business is a ZBA referral, number 1, and only for old business this evening is a ZBA referral, ZBA application 21, 3 Lake Avenue Extension LLC, 3 Lake Avenue Extension, G15005, CA80 zone, use variance section 5B2A, allow use of the property as a shelter for homeless with conditions. The ZBA is a public hearing scheduled for May 13th, 2021. Commission members and public, the subcommittee did meet this evening at 7 o'clock. I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Melillo, and he can talk about that public hearing on the subcommittee. Mr. Melillo.
Thank you, Mr. Haddad. We're familiar with this property. I think all of us know it's the Super 8 Motel over on the corner of Lake Avenue and 84, for lack of better, no cross terminology. right there by the gas station, I believe it is. It's been being used as a homeless shelter since the pandemic began, and the governor's executive order put some stipulations on the homeless shelters. And through that, the whole scope of that, it became apparent to the city that the old methodology of homeless shelters just wasn't working. It wasn't the best solution anymore, and this allowed for an improvement of services offered. So agreements were made to purchase the hotel, and and have it run for a nonprofit or from not a non-city related agency. And in order to have this up and running, they did need to address the use of a land variance. Normally, we were reluctant to recommend land use variances because we look to protect our zoning regs. This is one of those weird different instances where the property itself, while the use is in conforming, it conforms with the zone, the property itself is not does not conform because of the lot size. There really wouldn't be a substantial difference in the use of it, with it being used as a hotel, being the proposed use. And the subcommittee felt as though in this instance, granting this land use variance would be the least intrusive solution to meet this need that the city of Danbury has. I would like to note in here that it's not necessarily the need for the variance is not precipitated by the executive order, but the executive order did make us aware of the potential that it could meet. So I just want to make it clear that this is not an instance where we are looking to change the regs because of something that's coming down from the state, but rather something that we as a community will be seeing best serves the needs. So therefore, the recommendation of the zoning commission's ZBA subcommittee is to give this a positive recommendation because it is compatible with the plan of conservation and development. It is the least intrusive solution to the use of this land, which satisfies a need that will benefit the Danbury community. But we do want to recommend that we include the condition that the planning commission, that the planning director has suggested, requiring a deed restriction being placed within 10 days of approval of the variance. So I'll open up any questions either from myself or to Sharon. Candace?
Yeah, I'm sorry, when you said deed restriction on what? The deeded use of the property only or something different? Or would it only be for this owner?
Sharon?
Unmute.
Gotcha. Okay, so the conditions attached to it are that, well, one of them in general sense that all the beds in the rooms in the shelter have to qualify as affordable housing under 8-30G.
Okay.
And then the rooms assigned as the supportive housing rooms are deed restricted to family units within the meaning of 830G.
So 830G typically is like a permanent placement. So do families live in that hotel for a year or more? Do they enter into a lease agreement signed by Danbury Housing Authority? It's not like a per diem thing, right?
No, it means that only the people who meet these it's an income qualification.
Okay.
So the only people who could occupy those rooms are people who meet this income restriction.
Okay.
And that restriction is recorded. And by virtue of that, we get to add to our inventory of affordable housing units, either by virtue of the 830G list, or if we intend to apply for a moratorium against the 830G regulations. So those two restrictions, the rooms and the shelter beds on the income levels is a serious and a significant public benefit for the city of Danbury, because we will increase our unit count, which we need to do. Everybody needs to do. But
okay.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions of Ms. Calitro or Mr. Malillo at this time regarding that subcommittee report?
Ricky has his hand up. I don't know if he just was waving to everybody.
No, the hand's been up since the beginning of the meeting. I can't get it off. So
Oh, okay,
So I
let
was-
me find it. Where is it? Is it something I can turn off?
I don't know.
I think it's under reactions, Ricky.
Yeah, under reactions.
I'm
at the
not
bottom.
even going to try because I'll probably lose you.
Yeah,
So
he'll
if I have
screw
some,
up. Don't let him.
if I have something to say, I'll just say it.
Scream out. Okay.
Yeah, okay, you got it.
So right now you have nothing to say?
Hey, no, nothing.
Like anything else, commission members? Anything else?
Okay, Mr. Haddad, I would formally like to offer a motion that the zoning commission give us a positive recommendation for the reasons that I stated earlier.
Also, Mr. Malillo, thank you. Mr. Malillo has made a motion to send on a positive recommendation. Is there a second to that?
Second.
I see a second by Ms. Fay. If I may, Mr. Malillo, did we also, I may have missed it, I know you conditioned it upon them recording it within 10 days. Did you also mention that they attached the staff report and the other documents?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, please. I do want to direct that when we forward this over to the ZBA, that we include Ms. Calitro's staff report and any other documents that she supplied to us.
Right. And commission members, for those that don't realize it, they do not get, the ZBA does not get a copy of the staff report on this matter. So by us sending it over, our recommendation with that as a condition, will give them more information, more background. That staff report, by the way, was very informative and comprehensive and well done, by the way. So they'll have an opportunity to lay their eyes on that as well. Any other discussion? There's a motion made with a second. Is there any other discussion? A yes is yes, a no is no. Commissioner Almeida,
Yes.
Commissioner Fay,
Yes.
Commissioner Hylinski,
Yes.
Commissioner Jowdy,
Yes.
Commissioner Malillo,
Yes.
Commissioner Eriquez.
Yes.
I will make it unanimous. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At all correctly. 7 people, 7 yes, means unanimous. Thank you very much. Good work, Ms. Calitro, and also on the committee. Thank you.
Thank you.
Under new business, we have a petition of Quirk Works Brewery and Blendery Inc. That's a good one 3 times fast. Quirk Works Brewery and Blendery Inc. Triangle Industries LLC property. Triangle Industries LLC is a property owner at 78 Triangle Street, J14280 for special permit for brewery in the IL40 zone. This public hearing is also scheduled for May 11th, and you'll see when I go under for reference only, we got a couple more. However, this date is subject to change depending on circumstances related to COVID-19. I'd be looking for a motion on this to,
I don't think, Mr. Chairman,
No,
we
you
actually
don't
don't need
need-
a motion. This is just an announcement.
Not for a special permit. You don't need one.
oh, special permit. My apologies. Good pickup, Mr. Malillo. Thank you.
But I would like to offer a motion though, Mr. Chairman.
I'm sorry.
I would like to offer a motion though,
Go ahead.
that we do add item number 2 under new business.
It's just what I got here. Thank you. Oh, did everybody get a copy of that, Joanne, or?
No, just you and Rob and Sharon.
Okay, so Ms.
It came in late this afternoon. I just was letting you know that we need to add it.
So why don't you read it in then, Rob?
Okay, let me open it up. Hold on.
You want me to bring?
No, give me a second. I got it.
Okay.
It is the petition of DNB Wellness to amend sections 5A, 5F2, 5B3B, and 5BF1 of the zoning regulations, delete prohibition on drive-through window for medical marijuana dispensary. Proposed hearing date is June 8th, 2021.
Thank you very much. There's a motion made by Mr. Malillo to add this to number 2 under old business, and he read it in properly. Is there a second to that?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Jowdy. Any discussion? All those in favor, sing by saying aye. All those
Aye.
not hearing any. Now that that's on here, number 2 under new business is a petition of D&B Wellness to amend sections 5A, F5, 5B, 3B, and 5B, 5F1 of the zoning regulations in parentheses, delete prohibition on drive-through window for medical marijuana dispensary. Proposed public hearing date is June 8th, 2021. I don't think we have anything for June, so that'll be our first one for June. And we would be looking to refer this one, am I correct?
Yes, Mr. Haddad.
They have a motion to receive this petition, refer to the planning commission for their recommendation, notify all surrounding committees that need to be notified according to state statutes, publish it in the town clerk's office, and all other necessary required publications according to state statute, and set the public hearing date right now, which is proposed for June 8th, 2021, which is on this evening's agenda, subject to change depending on circumstances related to COVID-19.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Malillo. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Helinski. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Not hearing or seeing any opposition, that is unanimous as well. There is no correspondence. I'm going to read quickly the reference only before I get to the other matters. For reference only, number 1 is a petition of SC Ridge Owner LLC to amend sections 4H2B 2A and 4H2B 3B of the zoning regulations. Public hearing scheduled for May 11th, 2011. May 11th, 2021. This date is subject to change depending on circumstances related to COVID-19. The second one for reference only is a petition of SC Ridge Owner LLC to amend the master plan for the summit, in parentheses, approved June 23, 2020. The public hearing is scheduled for May 11th, 2021. This date is subject to change depending on circumstances related to COVID-19. That becomes our third for the 11th. Number 3 is a petition of Berkeley Insurance Company and Compass Health CT Real Estate LLC to amend the master plan of the reserve for tax assessors lot B15005 in parentheses, amend phase 9B, non-residential uses not serving the immediate needs of the residential development from 100,000 square feet of commercial use to 100,000 square feet as a physical medical facility inpatient use. That was a March submission. Public hearing scheduled for May 25th, 2021. This date is subject to change depending on circumstances related to COVID-19. There's a second one on the 25th, and that's number 4 under reference only, and that is petition of Newtown Road LLC, Maria Emmanuel Andre, Whitney Avenue, K12254, for change of zone from RA8 to CG20. That was the March submission petition as well. Public hearing scheduled for May 25, 2021. This date is subject to change depending upon circumstances related to COVID. Are there any other matters?
Mr. Haddad, I would like to bring something up under other matters, if I may.
Yes, Mr. Malillo, please.
So I don't know if you guys may remember back about a month or so ago, we were in one of the public hearings, we had talked about, or it was mentioned, some possibility of some things that were happening on the state level. And then you can also read in the newspaper that there's been some protests and gatherings in regards to zoning, some legislation that might impact zoning laws. I don't want to get into the weeds. I don't want to muddle through any of the political aspects of it. However, I am concerned whenever we hear of any intrusion that the state does to try to limit local control. And like I said, I don't want to go through the minutia of the legislation, but I would want to mention, or just throw out there a thought that this commission might want to at least take a stand to protect our right as an elected body to represent our local constituents, and oppose any state legislation which would limit the local control that the zoning commission has.
I think that's a great idea, Mr. Malillo. I've been following it as well, and I know others have. But yeah, there's talk of regional, multi-municipal zoning commissions that, if created, or regional or statewide, that if created, won't oversee us or dictate to us, but it would eliminate us. I think what's good for Stamford may not be good for Storrs. What's good for Waterbury may not be good for Wallingford. We also saw that there have been some issues that the state did take away from us. And Ms. Calitro, you can help me out on this, but I believe that we don't really have anything to say anymore when it comes to telecommunications as it relates to towers, things like that. I don't know if there's any issues as it relates to, we did hear about the teletrack or the gambling, whereas if it comes before us, subject to, and if there's a limit on dispensaries or gambling facilities, once it comes to us and once we make an approval, that if the state changes those numbers, we're bound by that. So I think when the state gets involved, they may mean well, but I think the municipality knows better. And to further that, even if they did dictate over what or remove what the local commissions, that's also removing public hearings. Okay, so the state would be making decisions. I believe a petitioner would just simply petition or apply to the state. I don't even know what they would do as far as publications, and I don't think there'd be public hearings. So I think I feel strong that we should stay in our place as the rest of the other 168 towns and cities and municipalities in Connecticut. So those are my thoughts on that. I'd like to hear what anyone else has to say about it. Mr. Malone, am I correct? Is that the way you interpret it as well? Ms. Khalid, is that how you see it? I mean, I'm not asking
Yeah.
you or you disagree, but was I correct in how I understood it to be and what may happen?
Yeah, those two, if I could just, so 10, I think it's 1024 and 681, I think it was. There's two, and they're fairly sweeping in terms of, limiting, our home rule, our ability to rule ourselves. And then in terms of zoning, just kind of mandating certain uses that are just permitted as of right. And again, not, there'd be no public input. Some things would just be able to, get a permit. They come in with plans, and I get what they're trying to do, but the one size fits all just doesn't work. And you're 100% right. I've been following these bills, and there's a myriad of bills that came out this session. So, but it's pretty damaging to municipalities and their ability to regulate and enforce the regulation. And sitting in Hartford and determining that, everybody's the same, and it doesn't work. And that's not how we should do it. So yeah, I mean, there's examples of resolutions that might be appropriate that I could share with you guys if you wish, just to make a statement. And there's been rallies and things like that all throughout the state from various organizations.
Yeah.
And Westcog has taken a position against many of these things. So just so you know as well.
The other thing is on 1024, it seems like that issue 1024 is very broad and sweeping. That may be squashed out of 1024. And when it got shaky on 1024, 661 was a placeholder filled after it was a bookmark. And then they took it and filled that same language that may not make it in 1024 into 661. So that really got me concerned because they're trying to push it from every angle. But it's still sitting out there. So
right.
Yeah. And anything else, commission members have any more comments or questions on this, or anybody familiar or unfamiliar that may have some questions? Ramita, please.
Yes, Sharon, I'd be interested in, looking at whatever you have. If you could share it with us, that'd be great.
Do you want to?
Sure, I can do that.
Is it? Yeah. Do you want to do it tonight, or do you want to put it on the agenda for maybe the next meeting? Have some conversation about that, or Sharon, or I don't really know how in depth or what you had in mind on that.
I guess just a general, more general statement and resolution in opposition to what those, what those two bills are intending to do.
Do you want to,
That's,
get into it tonight?
no, I mean, I could get it for you for the next meeting if you'd like some draft resolution.
Yep.
Some draft language if you'd like.
Mr. Melillo?
That I would like to see if we could stay away from targeting specific bills and just more something along the lines of just protecting our independent rights, to where you don't eliminate, our say. Because I'd hate to, I don't want to be tied to a potential something else in any legislation where they can say down the road that we may have been against something because it was mentioned in the legislation.
Yeah. Oh, on that side, I mean, you could just do a general resolution without looking at anything more specific, as Rob said. And I would agree without, getting it, because bills change and they come out of committee and they move around and things get, taken out of them. But just in the general sense, like we should have the ability to regulate, to come up with our own, to promulgate our own regulations and enforce them. And, kind of, not get rid of our ability for home rule.
Yeah, I'd like to know what you have in mind from an educational standpoint, as far as Mr. Melillo is concerned. Doing it generally speaking and not getting too deep in the weeds would help us for any future developers or petitions saying, wait a second, you had preconceived notions. You've already made your mind up before you even saw my petition. So if we want to take a position, I'd like to take a position tonight that we want to stand our ground and we want to remain in place and we don't want to give up local control. I think,
That's fine. Yeah.
I think we can get in trouble that way. And I think we're making a statement. Mr. Melillo?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm fine along those lines. Like I said, I don't want to be so specific and like I said, I don't want to politicize this issue, but I do want to at least respect the local charter and the community's right to have a say through this commission.
Okay. So, I mean, commission members, is there any opposition? Is there any opposition to that? If everybody's in favor of that, then we'll go along with that, and we'll thank Mr. Melillo for that. So we'll go along with that. I don't know if you want to provide any language or Joanne draw something up, but we're just simply here to say that we want to maintain our local control. We don't want to give up any control regionally or statewide. And our zoning commission. Is that about right?
Yeah, maybe if we something along the lines of the City of Danbury Zoning Commission is opposed to any legislation offered from the state legislature, which would usurp local control over zoning regulations.
I think that sounds great.
There you go.
Commission members, any comments on that?
And by the way, it wasn't even pre-written. Literally, that came out of my head. So don't ask me to send it again, Joanne. You have to re-listen to it.
We're recording this. We can just go back and hear what you said.
Exactly.
Well, if there's no opposition to that, let's make a that unanimously the zoning commission.
Point of order, it will need a second.
Okay. But I just wanted to emphasize the fact that we're going to go ahead with that if we get a second, and we're going to go on the record. So with that said, is there a second?
I would second, but there's very specific case law in Connecticut regarding local zoning and the importance of it. So maybe I can find some of those sites for us to throw into that, motion into the legislature. I think it would enhance us.
Good,
Awesome.
I'm not opposed to that idea, Mr. Haddad.
good.
Second by Ms. Fay, and I'm going to get back to that second in a moment. I saw your hand up, Mr. Amita. A comment?
No comment here.
Oh, you're adjusting your mirror while you're driving. So my only comment would be if we could, with a motion and a second, take a vote and approve this tonight. Can we go back and amend it with some conversation or some case law by Commissioner Fay? Or are you suggesting
Draft for the next meeting.
off on this tonight until we get some more teeth in it?
I'm comfortable waiting if we want to see the actual language. Mr. Haddad, it's probably the cleaner thing to do.
I'm sorry, probably what?
The cleaner thing to do.
All right. So my next question is to Ms. Fay. Will you be able to have something for the next meeting?
Yes. Yeah, by Friday.
All right. And maybe do you want to send it through Joanne? Maybe send it to the commission members before then?
Sure.
Okay,
Sure, I'll do very specific like citations that I think will enhance our position.
awesome. Thank you very much. We appreciate
Thank you.
Thank you. Candace.
Mr. Malillo, thank you as well. So that's what we'll do. So we'll table it, I guess, to the next meeting.
Yep. On a separate note, I have one quick question for Ms. Calitro, if I may, Mr. Haddad.
Sure, go ahead.
Sharon, what's the status in relationship to the executive order in our virtual meetings?
That was my number 2 under other matters. That's the second time that happened today.
The executive order, EO 11 was issued the last week. So that extended the meetings till May 20th. So unless it's extended past that, I guess we would be going back to meetings. But you know, things change daily. I did hear that there were some proposed changes to the FOI regulations that allow for this kinds of meetings. I don't know where that stands either, but at the moment, the executive order was extended for 30 days. So we have until May 20th. We'll know after that, or on May 20th, because we knew on April 19th for April 20th.
He cut it close on this one.
Wow, yeah. So,
Looking,
Yeah.
I kept looking. I couldn't find it to the last minute.
yeah, and then you have to go through it because they listed all the ones that got extended. Then you have to go back and make sure that you were in the ones that they, Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. Awesome. Thank you. Is there anything else under other matters?
I'm good.
Other matters. So at 8:05, I'd be looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Almeida, second by Commissioner Fay. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. All those opposed. We are adjourned at 8:05. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.